Welcome to a new year with a new canon, dear researchers. Today we'll be going through the SCP's Those Twisted Pines canon, or at least the introduction to it, because it's been chosen as our new Monday series. Now, without further ado, Those Twisted Pines. Prologue. A nobody stood under an awning in a largely deserted street in Portland. Occasionally, a car would pass. The headlights illuminated the puddles that had collected from the ongoing rain. She pulled her heavy jacket close and took a drag on a cigarette before looking over a few collected notes. While Sloth's Pit is one of the more animated nexuses in the United States, greatly distorting the anomaly occurrence value of the entire Midwest, Wisconsin is only the second most anomalous state. Thanks to the existence of Roadkill County in Oregon, the Pacific Northwest is, from a purely qualitative standpoint, the most anomalous area of the United States. Dr. Philip Vhorton, The Crossroads, a study of urban anomalous nexuses in the United States. Good morning, everyone. We have a lot of ground to cover today with all the orientations, so I'm going to keep this brief. I'm Director Edgar Holman. Welcome to Site 64. For those of you who are just starting out with the Foundation, glad we could be your first. Site 64 is large enough that things don't stay stagnant here. While small enough we avoid the logistical and staffing problems of the larger sites like 19, it's a good place to get your feet wet. A lot of you will be working with contacts within the FBI's Unusual Incidents Unit. Some of you will be interacting with members of the local Anart crowd. Others of you will be chasing robots. Notice I said interacting with, and not containing. That's because the Veil Protocol is enacted a little differently here. 3 Portlands is, in a loose sense of term, a massive containment cell. We keep the whole place quiet, sure, but we aren't about to storm the city. We'd only be making our job harder than it needs to be. Now, let's be honest, this job doesn't need to be any harder. We still see our fair share of ghosts, goblins, monsters, and whatever else that goes bump in the night. But hey, at least we aren't under goddamn lake. Anyway, we're about to do our first set of breakout sessions. Welcome aboard, everyone. Godspeed. Director Edgar Holman. Site 64, New Employee Orientation, May 2nd, 2012. Some of you have been with the unit for a while. You've all seen some pretty weird shit, otherwise you wouldn't be here. Maybe you've done a stint in the back door and think you've got a handle on this kind of thing. Well, you've never seen anything like 3 ports. I can guarantee it. This city is fucking weird. The city of 3 Portlands is the largest paranormal enclave in the United States, or within our jurisdiction at least. I'm still not super clear on the semantics of this multiverse stuff. But what that means is that you're going to see things you've never seen before. Things you never thought possible before. Artists and wizards are just the tip of the iceberg. We've got cyborgs, talking dogs, demigods, ghosts, psychics, shapeshifters, fairies, and God knows what else in this town. Most of them are human, or humanish. Some of them aren't. So try to keep an open mind. We're the outsiders here. 3 Portlands is almost autonomous, independent. A self-sufficient city-state with its own city council and mayor, although nobody's ever seen the latter. We're not on U.S. soil here. Our authority and jurisdiction only come from the Hoover Mandate. That is, because we say so. That said, We don't have the manpower or the firepower to fight the entire city, and we aren't gonna be winning any popularity contests here, so play nice. City police handle most local crime, and you should always try to de escalate back to them if you can. They've got riot golems after all. Our job is to keep a lid on all that weirdness, keep it contained. If you want to use the skipper's term, there's no doorman here, and there are more ways in and out than you can count. Trust me, I've tried. This place is a haven for paracrime. Smuggling and trafficking are near the top of the list, but I've seen everything from conceptual arson to temporal trading fraud. Like I said, this city is weird. Don't be surprised if some goon running demon narcotics for the Lighthouse Mafia pulls a Soviet plasma projector on you, because that'll get you killed. Surprise is a luxury we can't afford. Well, the good news is that we've got some weirdness of our own. Most of our irregular agents are assigned here. Odds are good you'll be partnered with at least one of them. Listen to them. They know this world better than you. If you need to call in the big guns, the amount of ways mean that Moot can be here in minutes. And if things go really wrong, the Foundation's always looking for an excuse to get involved. Try not to give them that excuse if you can avoid it. Skip has always managed to fuck things up for us. When in doubt, act like a Boy Scout, helpful, courteous, and prepared for the end of the world. Special Agent Kenneth Spencer. Orientations for incoming agents of the UIU's 3 Portland's Field Office, 2016. Do you dream of experiencing what 3 Portlands has to offer? Are you just too milquetoast to grab destiny by the horns and force adventure into existence? Try these all-new tourism opportunities. The arts. Come down to Stein Plaza Sunday to see renowned sculpture Auguste Minard battle her inner demons in a no-holds-barred cage match. She has no combat experience whatsoever. Wrestling fanatics with paramedic training are encouraged to attend. Luxury goods and services. Have you ever had a great idea for a story, product, or genetically modified animal that you just don't know how to bring into the world? Brainstorm no longer with O'Neroy Incorporated's patented Retrodil therapy. Experience a relaxing neurosurgery as our technicians exercise that pesky thought from your gray matter with cutting-edge, invasive plus technology. Trademarked. Save up to 10% or more by pairing the procedure with a cleansing lobe polish. Behind the Portlands, discover the reality behind the legend on a guided tour through the Pocket Universe in which Jimmy Hoffa's body is suspended in an aqueous solution. Rest assured, the natural aphrodisiac properties of Jimmy Gel are not exaggerated. Just don't half your free sample until you get home. Yasmin Rahman. 3 Portland's tourism pamphlet. Summer 2018. Honestly, moving our HQ and main production facility to 3 Portlands was the best decision Vincent ever made. 3 Portlands gave us the opportunity to work unhindered, minus what the city felt was due. We were able to tap into a talented base of former Prometheus lab employees, thaumatologists, and Maxwellists. All of that, and we were only a few ways away from Oregon, the UK, Maine, and contacts in the library. Anderson Robotics would have felt a lot sooner anywhere else. Perhaps that's why it was so shocking when it all came crashing down. We were set. We had it all. We were unstoppable. I'd be lying if I said I didn't miss those days. Isaac Dillard. money, magic, and machines. To 2100 eyes uplifted under scorching skies. It's not surprising you'd ask about expanding your influence into three portlands. The Three City is a well known hotbed for people like us, and every young Goddix like yourself wants a slice of the hot young hipster demographic to be the face of their following. My pacts with various other cosmological heretics dictate that I save the juiciest marketing strategies for deities omnipotent enough to conjure me more than a single ton of gold a month. Nonetheless, I do still have advice, almost certainly not befitting for some god of your stature. I would advise you branch out to some of the more libertine groups within the city. I'm aware that the madmen have a certain degree of influence there, and their more anarchist tendencies certainly align with many of the tenets of your belief body. Certainly, any numbering of wandering artists might be inspired to take you on as a muse, though do ask for a background check before you shake any hands. Portland has a history of harboring the kinds of artists who turn their rivals into impressionist works. But it doesn't take me to forecast your specific powers might be more applicable in service to an Eroi Incorporated, the architects behind most of the memory palaces in the Prime Plane. Their mimetic engineering, your slightly distressing habit of telepathically inflicting sand-based erotic fantasies on innocent biosleepers, a recipe for a collaboration with the juicy cut in it for both you and your faithful advisor. Afraid you're not paying me enough to say more, so that's all the advice I'll give you this equinox. Though feel free to drop me another ton of precious metal if you're in a real pickle. That happens to fall within my hours of operation. Yours in nocturnal apotheosis, Saturn Deer, and fellow degenerates financial. Three Portlands? Yeah, I know the place. We had one of our biggest joints down there this side o' the Mississippi. Didn't matter how much magic you had got in ya, there's some things only booze can take care of, and booze is something the spirit had plenty of. We had all sorts trying to come in and get a piece of that rum cake, if you know what I'm saying. Snakes, lead heads, all those magic bimbos, acting real tough, trying to threaten us and run us out of town with their fancy tricks and light shows. I'll tell you though, magic don't mean squat when you're staring down the barrel of a Thompson. Roland McDowell, former Chicago Spirit, Foundation Deliberations, September 26th, 1972. Sure, we always had the place in Kenosha, but that's more of a place to get your head together. Three Portlands is a little different. It's like a safe haven, untouched by janitors and those weird tank fucks. I mean, GD knows they're here, but it's muted. You feel like you can be who you want to be here. GD, that's corny, isn't it? But trust me, I got about 6 ex-girlfriends here, and about half of them are gamers against weed. It's a safe place for us, all things aside. But I mean, you'd think this Twin Peaks bullshit would be beyond me, but I was born around here, and I can't stay away for long. It doesn't get greener than this anywhere else in the world, if you ask me. There's something primal here, and that's why it's so special. I kind of sound like this Wiccan I used to date. She lives around here, but trust me, you'll be okay. Esther Kogan. Lesbian _ Gengar, co-founder of Gaw. You are invited to the grand opening of Wilson Wildlife Solutions. Boring, Oregon is home to some of the craziest, most wonderful animals this side of the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean. And for lively wildlife, we require lively wildlife specialists. Come see the newest, spangliest, shiniest new institution of pest control and injured animal rehabilitation. Dinner and dessert will be provided, including vegetarian, vegan, and gluten-free options of pasta, salads, and burgers. Feel free to bring any food you so wish to. Potluck, community, all you can eat style. Get to know the people who will be keeping our streets clean and our forests lush. Our brand new building is way past the not so boring bar and grill on Southeast Wally Road. On the right, big and green. You can't miss it. Hope to see you there. Tim Wilson. Invitation to Wilson's Wildlife Solutions opening party, November 29th, 1997. She gingerly placed the notes back in her pocket and flicked the cigarette butt into the night, letting out a final plume of smoke. She turned and walked towards a wooden door in the brick wall behind her. Strange things are done in the northwest rains, she whispered. The lock clicked open, and soon she had vanished beyond the threshold, closing the door behind her. As another car passed by, the door slowly faded, and then disappeared. And that's the end of the introduction. And it should be noted, if you plan on watching further, in the rest of the articles, there are 3 major tale arcs. There are the Anderson Robotics tale arcs, which in the list are bold, and I'll try to copy how the list is in the actual titling. There is the Sasha Merlot tale arc, which is represented with an underline. And then there's the Beatrice Ross tale arc, which is represented using italics. And of course, there are some that are combinations of all of them. But that's all the time we have for today, dear researchers. Thank you very much for listening in, and I hope to see you through the rest of this wonderful tale set. It's been an honor reading for you, and I hope to do so again. Good luck out there.